Welcome to the Foundry by Forge College. I'm your host, and today we are hunting ghosts. But, not the spooky kind. We're going after the ghosts in the machine of Web3 development. You absolutely know the ones I'm talking about. Those silent, intermittent RPC node failures that just mysteriously break your Solana integration and then completely vanish right before you can actually catch them. So in this explainer, we're going to learn exactly how to diagnose and systematically debug these exact failures. All right, let's dive right in. So if you caught our previous explainer, you'll remember we investigated ENS resolution, debugging, and security. We talked about how automated failovers and health checks are basically lifesavers for keeping your applications running when a node goes down. But let's be real here. Symptom management is not the same thing as diagnostics. Automated failovers, they act a lot like painkillers for intermittent bugs. They completely hide the pain from the client, which, hey, is fantastic for user experience, but they don't actually fix the underlying issue. Today, we're taking the painkiller away and bringing out the X-ray machine to find the actual broken bone, because we need reproducible evidence if we're ever going to fix the underlying fault. Okay, here's our detective's blueprint for today's investigation. We'll kick things off by unmasking the hidden RPC bug. Next, we're going to build our magnifying glass, a reproducible test case. From there, we'll follow the breadcrumbs by gathering log evidence, and finally, we'll deliver our verdict by forming a rock-solid root cause hypothesis. Part 1. The hidden RPC bug, unmasking the silent culprit. Modern RPC health checks are brilliantly designed to route traffic away from nodes that fail liveness checks or show degraded performance. It's a stellar defense mechanism. But it completely masks the underlying RPC node failures from you, the client. And honestly, I think we can all relate to this quote. It works perfectly until it doesn't. It's literally the universal developer pain of intermittent bugs. You stare at your logs, you spot a random failure, you try to run the exact same request again manually, and bam, suddenly the RPC node responds perfectly. The bug just pecks up and disappears the second you look at it. So to fix this, we have to completely stop guessing and start forcing the bug to show its face on our terms. Moving on to part 2, the reproducible test case, building the magnifying glass. All right, so we need a way to recreate the crime scene perfectly, every single time. How do we do that? We are going to build a reproducible test harness. This is going to generate RPC traffic against a target endpoint so we can intentionally induce these common failure modes. Here's the procedural blueprint. First, we always start with a baseline check using a super simple curl command. This just verifies basic connectivity, usually with a lightweight method like getVersion. If you get an HTTP 200, awesome. If you get a 500 or a timeout right out of the gate, well, you already know the problem sits in the transport layer or the node backend. Only after we clear this baseline do we move to step 2, running a custom script called stress.js to surface those sneaky intermittent failures using heavier methods like getAccountInfo. Step 3 is parsing those logs, and step 4 is writing up the report. So what do we actually need to pull this off? Well, here is your toolkit. You literally just need 3 files. First up, a manifest.json file. This holds your target endpoint, headers, and parameter templates so your runs are 100% deterministic. Second, stress.js. This is just a small node script that issues concurrent requests from your manifest and logs the timestamps and response codes. And third, parselogs.py, a really simple Python helper script to extract error codes and latencies from your raw logs. Now, a very quick but very serious safety warning. Keep your default concurrency low at first. Start with maybe 4 concurrent requests. You are basically building a tiny traffic cannon here, and trust me, you absolutely do not want to accidentally DDoS your own staging servers while you're just trying to debug them. All right, part 3, gathering log evidence, reading the breadcrumbs. When we start mapping the errors that our stress script generates, we have to treat every single error code as a distinct clue in our mystery. If our Python script spits out HTTP 429 errors, our likely culprit is upstream rate limiting. Simple as that. If we start seeing HTTP 500 level errors, or maybe specific JSON RPC error codes like -32,000, we're definitely looking at a node backend issue, maybe some kind of state-related failure. And if we see timeouts, well then we are very likely dealing with a transport or network layer breakdown. Each of these codes points us down a very specific, actionable investigative path. But guys, here is a fiercely crucial detail. To actually prove your case, you absolutely need time alignment. You have got to synchronize your client-side traces with the server node logs using Network Time Protocol, or NTP. Because think about it, without accurate time alignment, You literally cannot prove that the latency spike you saw on the client at exactly 2:04 p.m. is the exact same event as the queue overflow logged on the server. So the bottom line is this. Without synchronized timestamps, you just have a giant pile of useless data. With them, you actually have admissible evidence. And finally, part 4, the root cause hypothesis, delivering the verdict. Okay, so we've gathered our clues, we've aligned our timestamps, and we've categorized all our errors. Now it is time to synthesize this evidence into a verdict. Let's clearly define what we mean by a root cause hypothesis. It is a factual statement linking observed log evidence to a plausible explanation. And I really want to emphasize the word factual here. We are done guessing. We're taking measurable signals, like saying, hey, we observed 95th percentile latency spikes correlating with HTTP 429 responses at concurrency levels over 50, and we're using that concrete data to form our hypothesis. You rely on exact JSON RPC error bodies, not a litany of desperate guesses. Now, when you finally hand this over to the ops or SRE team, your debug report needs 3 mandatory ingredients to actually close the case. First, reproducible steps. They need your manifest file and the exact command you ran so they can easily see the bug for themselves. Second, the correlated evidence, which is your beautiful time-aligned logs and traces. And third, an actionable remediation. Suggesting a mitigation is what makes your report truly valuable, a real game changer. For example, if you suspect rate limiting, don't just point your finger at it. Suggest implementing exponential backoff with jitter on the client side, or ask ops to raise the rate limits for the staging environment. Give them a clear path forward. Applying structured, methodical approaches exactly like this test harness is a massive focus of the learning programs over at Forge College. It's all about making that leap from chaotic guessing to proper methodical engineering. So I'm going to leave you with this question to chew on. What is really hiding behind your next automated failover? The next time your application silently switches RPC nodes, please don't just ignore it. Build your test harness, gather your hard evidence, and deliver a factual root cause hypothesis. If you want to master even more advanced Web3 engineering methodologies and learn how to turn intermittent symptoms into structured, solvable evidence, head on over to forge.college and explore all the resources there. Until next time, keep digging and happy debugging.